I'm John Law, this is Chasing Cars, and today we're down in Melbourne checking out the freshly updated Mazda 2. Now the Mazda 2 has been a top seller in its class since it was first released in 2014. This update brings refreshed styling in the form of the chrome grille we see here with the extra underscoring of the new LED headlights, as well as increased tech inside and also an increased price. The model we have here today is the top spec GT variant, which starts at $25,990 before on-road costs. From there, you have the entry-level Pure Edition, which is the new start of the range now that the Neo base variant has been axed. That starts at $29,990 with a manual transmission. That's a $5,500 hike over the original entry price. Will that scare buyers off? We'll see. From there, you move up to the mid-spec Evolve, which takes place of the Genki from the previous update, and that is a little bit more expensive at $24,990, but it includes an auto as standard. All variants are powered by the same 1.5 litre 4-cylinder naturally aspirated Skyactiv engine with outputs of 82 kilowatts and 144 newton meters. It's a pretty peppy little engine and we really like how it drives in the MX-5 sports car. The updated Mazda 2 also sees increased safety credentials with lane keep assist, blind spot monitoring and rear cross traffic alert standard across all variants, with the high-spec GT also getting radar cruise control as standard. For a full price list and spec breakdown, head over to the Chasing Cars website where we have a news article that covers all that there. And now I'll show you the slightly updated and more tech-filled interior. Now, the interior for the Mazda 2 has been subtly refreshed with the new update, and that brings with it leather steering wheel across all grades and leather gear knob. You also get the 7-inch touchscreen control across every model now. You don't miss that out on the base models, which is pretty cool. You can control it with the iDrive style controller as well, or touchscreen, depending on whatever you wanted to do. You've got AC controls down here and 2 USB charge sockets and a 12-volt outlet as well. No more of that weird sort of CD changer going on down there. Interior quality is pretty good overall. You've got nice soft touch leather. The design is lovely. It suits and fits in with the rest of the Mazda range well. The GT variant also gets full leather seats with some Alcantara highlights, which are quite nice to the touch. Rest of the material quality is pretty good. There's metal here on the steering wheel, but there are some scratchy plastics, but that's the sort of stuff you expect to find in a light car for sure. So the interior is pretty well packed. The driving position is good. I'm comfortable. I can get low enough for my 6'2" frame without it being uncomfortable. And there's plenty of headroom, legroom, and tilt and height adjust on the steering wheel as well. So all in all, the front seat's a pretty comfy place to be in the Mazda 2. And with the extra nav and other tech, it brings it into line with competitors. Now, the back seat of the Mazda 2, it's largely unchanged, but it is pretty comfortable back here. The leather in the GT line and the actual cushioning on the seats is fairly comfortable. Occupancy room for me is a little cramped. At 6'2", my knee room isn't great. However, my toe room is fantastic. Headroom is agreeable as long as I have my head sort of slightly tilted, slouched over. There's no armrest back here, and on that there's no real creature comforts either. There's no vents or 12-volt sockets or USBs to keep your kids entertained with their iPads. So it's not bad, but it's not something you would want to be in for long periods of time. So to the boot of the Mazda 2. It hasn't received any refreshing with the update. It's still the same size, fairly generous for the size of the car, though the pronounced load lip and the lack of shopping bag hooks mean it's not quite up there with its European competitors. However, the styling and the rest of the updates to the Mazda 2, especially in the tech department, really bring it into the sort of up to modern standards with the rest of the Mazda range. It looks great. Unfortunately, we haven't had the chance to drive the new 2 today. However, I'm sure we'll get a chance to do that soon on its full Australian launch. In the meantime, make sure you click subscribe and hit the bell icon so you never miss another full-length Australian video car review. Thanks for watching Chasing Cars.